Hey everyone, welcome to Rivals Feature, the series where my Discord server and I pick a course and a class and run a 2-week competition to see how much we can all learn, improve, and shake up the global leaderboard. Then, I share the results here in this video. This week's course was the Broadway Village Circuit in C class. We're finally off the long sprints and back into more normal circuits, but not quite as tight as the first few. So let's go ahead and give a quick rundown of the course. So we start our run in the middle of a long straight. At the bottom of the straight is a pretty tight left. Then after that is another banked left that you can keep up some good speed through. And then another left that you can cut pretty strongly in order to keep up some speed as well. Then we start heading uphill and to the right. And at the top of the uphill right, we come to a downhill left that again can be cut to keep up speed. Then we have a sharp 90-degree left that needs to be taken with care. Coming out of that left, we start heading uphill on a short straight, and then to a medium left into the final straight. Now as usual, before we get into the challenge, let's just run through some of the top cars in each class quick. So in D class, the Peel Trident takes over the whole leaderboard, and in C class, we have the Peel Trident taking up the top spots, but the Track-Tor shows up for the rest. In B class, the Top Gear Track-Tor takes over again for the full leaderboard. Then in A class, we have a pretty healthy mix of some of the more meta cars that you see pretty often. In S1, it's a pretty similar case with the Shelby Monaco and Bone Shaker standing out. And finally for S2, we see a bit of a mix of meta cars with the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR being the most popular. So for our challenge, all the way down in C class, there were two standout cars. The Track-Tor, driven by people who wanted a good time without pulling their hair out, and the Peel Trident, driven by absolutely batshit insane people. We'll get more into that soon, but for my runs, I chose the mighty Top Gear Tractor, which previously I had mostly written off as an overpowered B-class off-roader, but have now realized with this challenge that this car dominates C-class circuits as well. Using, I believe, Garmite's tune, I was able to handle the riced out farm equipment pretty well. The handling feels soft and slow, but it's still decent once you learn its small quirks. To be honest, this was actually one of the least stressful rival events yet, just because of the overall lower speed and how just easily the Track-Tor handled. I usually get really caught up in these more high-speed circuits with super fast reaction time, trying to use every inch of the road and then some just to squeeze out like hundredths of a second, and it just gets really tense. I can definitely get kind of lost in it a bit, and I'm sure some of you guys that do a lot of rivals racing feel that too, but this C-Class Track-Tor, this was nice. I set a good time after a few lumbering laps around the course, and then came back to it a few days later to improve. My lap times were all pretty close and consistent, and knowing where I needed to improve was easy to figure out, to be honest. So with the Tractor, I managed to get a time of 53.376 on the Discord challenge, which placed me 6th on the challenge and 6th on the global leaderboard as well. Now you'll notice that I've been talking about how nice the Track-Tor is to drive and how this was a more relaxing event than most, but you probably noticed that all the top guys were in Peel Tridents, and let me show you what the guys on top had to do to get those times. Just be warned, what you're about to see is not of this world. So this is Dust's lap, who got first in our challenge and first in the world, and here's what he had to say about his experience with this challenge. My tip for the high speed corners is to lightly spam the handbrake when you feel you're about to stop drifting, when it feels like you're about to understeer. This is much easier than continuing the power slide by steering into the corner. In order to have max overall pace, you'll need to use simulation steering to change direction faster and to not rely as heavily on the handbrake. This can be a nightmare on low speed corners, and it takes some getting used to, but it's faster overall once you can control it. On tuning, take the sport intake and street oil, and you should be able to figure out the rest as there's not too much room here. And for the tune itself, every value is either the minimum possible or the maximum. So congratulations to Dust for winning the challenge and getting first in the global leaderboard. The amount of driving insanity that you had to go through in order to get that is highly respectable. I consider myself a pretty decent Forza driver, but that is never something I don't think you'll ever see me doing. I think in a few videos of mine, I talk about how you shouldn't be drifting and you should be keeping grip around corners to get faster speeds, but clearly there is always an exception to the rule. So it's worth noting that I did give the Peel Trident a shot myself. This was actually, I think, before I used the Track-Tor, because I saw people setting really good times with it and just kind of wanted to jump on that Peel Trident bandwagon. But I tried to go for more of a grip tune, and it worked well enough. It's a crazy car to drive, and one of the huge differences between this car and the Track-Tor is that every little thing you hit will send this car flying, and it's kind of the exact opposite with the Track-Tor, which is so big that you can kind of just plow through a lot of obstacles without slowing down so much. So I was just going crazy trying to set a good time with the Trident, and that led me to try out the Track-Tor instead, which I never went back from. It was just so much more easy to drive, way more relaxing, and obviously I still got a pretty decent time. So guys, that just about wraps up this Rivals feature. Thank you so much for watching. These have been a ton of fun, and I'll see you in the next video.